The Bad Batch Season 3 is introducing us to a lot of answers and even more questions. So it makes me wonder, what will become of the menacing Royce Hemlock? So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I think that Royce Hemlock is one of the most interesting characters in the Bad Batch series right now. He is one of those characters that has this particular menacing charisma to it that is hard to find with other villains, so to speak. And I think one of the reasons for this is that he shares some similar characteristics to Thrawn. And Thrawn is one of my favorite characters, if not my favorite character of all time in Star Wars. Just mainly because of how brilliant his mind works and all of the other cool things that he does. Now, to say that he is the same as Thrawn is far beyond the stretch, but I think he shares similarities in some aspects, especially when it comes to his more calm and calculated characteristics and the way he approaches challenges. Like, he's ruthless, but he is also careful and he doesn't want to waste anything that shouldn't be wasted, just like Thrawn. But if we look away from the similarities that I think he has with Thrawn, then I think it's important to raise the question, what will become of Royce Hemlock? Now, we have many episodes to go in Season 3 of The Bad Batch, and this will be the final season, meaning that most likely we'll see the end and conclusion of Hemlock, especially because we haven't really seen him anywhere else after the Bad Batch time period, which means that he could possibly die closer to the end of the series or at the very end. However, here's my little personal opinion on what I think they should do with Hemlock. Hemlock is such an interesting character, at least to me, that I think it would be a waste if he just died. And when I say that he will just die, I mean that he just be killed off on screen by one of the Bad Batch leading members. I don't really want to see that happening because I feel like he could do more for the galaxy, even if it is for the support of the Empire. I still think that he could add more value to the galaxy. And when I say add more value to the galaxy, I more mean add more value to us viewers and people who enjoy Star Wars. Because a character like Hemlock shouldn't be just thrown away. He has obviously been given a huge platform being on the Bad Batch, but it would be cool to see him maybe disassociate himself with the Bad Batch, maybe the Empire, and go in a different direction, but still follows that scientific path. In the third episode, he did talk to Palpatine and kind of indirectly questioned Palpatine if he could become the scientific minister of the Empire. And Palpatine told him, you know, buddy, hold up a little minute and we'll in due time, you know, in due time. So, which implies, at least from my point of view, that Palpatine is still testing his loyalties. And Palpatine is kind of a calm, careful guy on the political front in terms of how he projects himself, but he's very, very strict and very evil, as we all know, or most of us know. And I think that Hemlock knows that crossing Palpatine isn't particularly smart, which means he's better off just taking it very slow and walking the assigned path that's been given to him by Palpatine, and not try to rush things aside from the development of the Necromancer project, which obviously Palpatine wants to see be successful as soon as possible. I think in order to extend Hemlock's purpose in the Star Wars universe, he should kind of try and do the best he can to align himself with Palpatine, obviously because you don't really want to make that guy angry, and also it means that he might be able to become the scientific minister, which gives him a larger purpose outside of just the Necromancer project. And I'm not saying he should survive all the way into the sequel era of things, but I think it would be great to see him survive for many more years and hopefully to extend his lore even more, and perhaps he might even try to create, and here's a fun theory, if everything goes wrong with the Necromancer project for him, by for some reason that he is disassociated with the Empire or exiled or whatever it may be, he could try to start his own cloning project. Because he's clearly very obsessed with cloning, and it'd be very interesting to see if he kind of starts experiment with some other alternatives. I don't know, it's very interesting, but it's a theory that I would have loved to see come to reality. However, with all that said, we are only 3 episodes into The Bad Batch Season 3, and we have many more episodes to come. So a lot of things can happen and a lot of things can change, and it most definitely will change for all the characters in the series that at least have some form of importance. And this video can certainly end up becoming one of those "this video did not age well" type of videos. Based on my hopes of Hemlock surviving outside of the Bad Batch series, and also a little bit based on that theory that I added, But honestly, I'm willing to let the series go whatever direction that it does, because it seems to me that they know what they're doing and they know how to tell great stories, for that is quite clear to me at least. Right now they are showing indications that they know what direction they want to go with the ending season of The Bad Batch. But with all that said, people who do know me with Star Wars, and probably based on what content you've seen so far on the channel, I do have a little soft spot for kind of the darker side of Star Wars and the villains and that kind of thing. I find them very interesting, so usually I have opinions that might favor them over other characters or root them in a positive direction that makes them succeed. So I hope Hemlock is not simply killed off. I think he can have a larger purpose with this universe, extending outside of the Bad Batch series or the Bad Batch era. And yeah, so let's just see what happens with that character in the following episodes. But what do you guys think about Hemlock and his characteristics? Is he someone that you think should survive and not be killed off in this series? Or do you think that his time has come once the series is getting to an end? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, may the Force be with you.